Welcome to Old Photo History. Today, we're stepping back into a pre-glamour era, long before the red carpets and the iconic white sign. In the mid-19th century, Hollywood wasn't a movie mecca. It was a quiet landscape of sun-drenched canyons and dusty ranches. From 1850 to 1920, we witnessed the birth of a legend, the raw, unfiltered transition from wild fields to the global heart of cinema. Stick around as we reveal the rarest first views of Hollywood that you have likely never seen before. Let's begin our journey through time. Imagine Hollywood as nothing but a single adobe hut in 1853. This was Nopalera, named after the native Mexican cactus that once dominated the horizon. By 1860, as seen here at the Dewin House, life was quiet, a humble ranch at the corner of what we now call Western and Lemon Grove Avenues. Back then, it was the Cahuenga Valley, a name rooted in the indigenous Tongva language, meaning the place of the mountain. By 1870, this dusty landscape transformed into a thriving agricultural hub, just before the waves of land speculation changed these wide-open spaces forever. These pioneers and their horses were the first to call this legend home. By 1877, the vision for this land grew bold, as seen in this stunning panoramic view. Developers promoted a community called Cahuenga, calling it the model suburb of Los Angeles. It was perfectly positioned, exactly 8 miles from the city and 8 miles from the sea. Its northern boundary, none other than the famous Sunset Boulevard. But here's the twist. This grand design with its circular roads and manicured parks was never actually built. It remained a dream on paper. However, some of these planned streets were later used elsewhere in the Hollywood we know today, a ghost map for a future empire. By 1880, the Hollywood landscape was a sea of orange. Here, on what would later become Crotona Hill, rows of citrus trees blanketed the slopes near Gower Street and Beechwood Drive. If you look closely, you can spot a lone figure standing amidst the grove, a witness to a world of silence and sweet scents. This peaceful orchard wouldn't stay this way forever. In 1911, the Crotona Theosophical Society established a colony right here, north of the J.B. Rapp Ranch, giving this hill the name we still recognize today. Before the movie stars moved in, it was the oranges that owned these hills, a forgotten era of agriculture and spirituality. As we move to the corner of Franklin and Beechwood, we find ourselves in the middle of a tropical surprise. This is the ranch of J.B. Rapp in 1880, a man who started with lemons but dreamed of something more exotic. Look at these rows of pineapples thriving in the frost-free climate of early Hollywood. In an era where even an orange was a luxury for many Americans, Rapp's crops like dates, avocados, and pineapples caused a total sensation. It wasn't just about survival, it was about opportunity. Hollywood's unique weather was the secret ingredient, turning this dusty valley into a lush, fertile paradise. Long before the movie studios, it was these exotic fruits that first put this land on the map. By 1882, the Cahuenga Pass was a lonely, windswept trail. Long before the roar of engines and concrete highways, this was the lowest point through the mountains, the vital link between Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley. Travelers made the slow journey on foot or by horse, often stopping at a hidden tavern tucked away in the trees at the summit. But these hills hold bloodier secrets. This was the site of 2 major battles. In 1845, a conflict over independence famously ended with just 2 casualties, a horse and a mule. Today, this path is part of the ancient historic El Camino Real. Even now, workers still find old cannonballs buried in the dirt near Studio City, a quiet road with a loud history. Just 8 miles from the heart of Los Angeles stood a primitive oasis known as the 8 Mile House. Nestled within a lush eucalyptus forest, this 1870s hotel was a vital sanctuary for travelers crossing the Cahuenga Pass. Imagine the scent of the trees and the cool canyon shade as horses rested before the final leg of their journey. This wasn't just a building, it was a milestone of progress. Long before the neon lights of the Sunset Strip, there were only these quiet ghosts of the canyon, providing shelter to those dreaming of what lay beyond the hills. A simple stop on the road to a legend. Welcome back as we continue our trek through the wild origins of Hollywood. By 1914, even as the movie industry began to bloom, the landscape remained rugged and raw. Look at this winding trail through the Cahuenga Pass, where nature and agriculture still ruled the land. But don't let the peace fool you. Legend says the great filmmaker Cecil DeMille lived right here in a humble wooden shack. Every single day he would ride his horse to the studio, but he never went alone. He kept a loaded revolver strapped to his hip, a reminder that Hollywood was still very much part of the Wild West, a cinematic pioneer in a land of danger and dreams. By 1885, at the dusty intersection of Sunset and Gower stood the 6 Mile House. This lonely saloon was a critical stop for the massive 20-mule teams as they hauled goods toward the San Fernando Valley. Long before the glitz, this path was known simply as Bellevue Street. It was Senator Cornelius Cole who gave it the name we know today, inspired by the stunning sunsets over the Pacific Ocean. But the biggest change was yet to come. In 1911, this very corner witnessed the birth of an industry as the first movies in California began filming right here. A simple resting place transformed into the heart of Hollywood. By the early 1900s, the 6 Mile House was a local legend. Look at the roof. A sign names the owners as Martin Labègue and Laurent Etchepare, where a cold beer cost just 5 cents. But its true name was Labègue's Casa Cahuenga. Martin Labègue, an French immigrant, was a master of persuasion. He convinced the legendary Harvey Wilcox to sell land across the street to his friends, the Blondeau family. By 1889, they transformed that land into the Blondeau Tavern, another iconic Hollywood landmark. One simple deal at one dusty corner that changed Hollywood forever. By 1887, even the rugged peaks of Hollywood were being conquered. Look at this group, dressed in their Sunday best, standing proudly at the summit after a grueling hike. But this wasn't just a casual walk. Notice the loaded gun held by the man on the right and the metal buckets at their feet. In the distance, a river snakes through the untouched valley floor. This was a time of true adventure where even a simple picnic required a revolver for protection. Long before the famous sign, these were the first souls to witness the majesty of these hills. In 1884, education in Hollywood looked like this. This is the Cahuenga Valley Township School, a simple wooden structure that stood as a beacon of learning in a wild landscape. Look at the tall bell tower on the left and the single brick chimney rising from the center. Back then, the student body was small and resources were scarce. But here is the most charming detail. Notice the horse standing with the children? Local legends say that very horse was the original big yellow bus, shuttling students across the dusty trails to make sure they arrived for class. A humble beginning for a valley that would soon teach the world how to dream. By 1887, at the very start of Vermont Avenue, stood the striking Los Feliz School. This two-story wooden marvel was a pillar of the Cahuenga Valley long before the world knew this land as Hollywood. Just look at that magnificent central tower featuring an open terrace and a unique onion-shaped roof topped with a weather vane. A grand American flag flies proudly from the rooftop, signaling a community that was growing in both spirit and size. With its tall rectangular windows and elegant covered entrance, this school was a prestigious landmark against the backdrop of the rugged hills, a beacon of knowledge at the edge of a future empire. In 1887, Hollywood finally appeared on paper. This is the very first map ever published by the man who started it all, H. Wilcox. His wife, Daida, chose the name Hollywood after hearing it from a neighbor, and Wilcox officially filed this subdivision on February 1st, 1887. Look at the streets. Prospect Avenue, which we now know as the world-famous Hollywood Boulevard. Even the iconic Hollywood Hotel was drawn here long before it even existed. This was a bold blueprint for a global empire, a dream of 160 acres that would soon capture the imagination of the entire world. Welcome back to the untamed outskirts of 1894 Hollywood. This is the Ireby Barrow Ranch, a sprawling landscape bounded by what we now know as Beverly Boulevard and Vermont Avenue. The Barrow family arrived from Illinois in 1880, trading the Midwest for these golden hills. In the distance, behind the ranch house, you can spot the original Cahuenga Valley School. Look closely at the foreground. A bearded man and his son stand guard by the barbed wire fence as horses and cattle graze peacefully by the pond. But notice the man's hands. He appears to be holding a rifle. Even in this pastoral paradise, protection was a daily necessity. A snapshot of a family carving a future out of the wild California dust. In 1888, the isolated Cahuenga Valley was finally linked to Los Angeles. This is the very first train of the Cahuenga Valley Railroad, captured at the corner of Wilcox and Prospect Avenue. Today, we know this spot as the bustling heart of Hollywood Boulevard. Notice the small steam engine and the 11 eager pioneers riding on the wooden benches of this dummy car. Started by James McLaughlin, this line was purely experimental, yet it changed everything. It wasn't just a railroad, it was the spark that ignited the growth of a legend, a humble whistle for a giant future. By 1890, the Cahuenga Valley Railroad was a strange but vital sight. Known as the fake cable line, this small steam train wasn't actually powered by cables at all. Look closely at the car. It is completely hollow, with simple wooden benches for passengers traveling through the vast open fields. Starting from Beverly, it chugged past the future Western and Santa Monica Avenues, all the way to Prospect Avenue. At the end of the line, at Wilcox, the founder James McLaughlin built a massive McMansion to celebrate his success. A humble, rattling journey that paved the way for the world's most famous boulevard. Let's discover what came next. By 1898, Hollywood was a massive construction site. Look at these workers manually leveling the dirt to lay the tracks for a new era. We are standing on Prospect Avenue, the future Hollywood Boulevard, as the line expands west toward Laurel Canyon. In 1896, the railroad was sold to Moses Sherman and Eli P. Clark, the titans of the Pacific Electric System. This transition was critical. It turned an isolated rural patch into a vibrant, connected community. The famous red cars were coming, and Hollywood would never be the same again. A boulevard was born, and a legend was about to accelerate. By 1900, at the corner of Prospect and Wilcox stood this stunning Victorian mansion. It was a bold symbol of the wealth and ambition flowing into the valley. Built by James McLaughlin, it was eventually owned by H.J. Whiteley, the man known as the father of Hollywood. Investors like E.C. Hurd, who struck rich in Colorado mines, saw the vast potential in these sun-drenched hills. As the local railroad joined the Pacific Electric System in 1996, Hollywood began its final shift from a remote rural patch to a vibrant, connected suburb. A house of elegance standing at the dawn of a global empire. By 1905, Hollywood was radiating elegance. At the corner of Prospect and Wilcox, a lush, manicured garden bloomed with pine trees and arborvitae. To the left stands the striking Victorian estate of H.J. Whiteley, the man hailed as the father of Hollywood. Looking across the horizon, grand homes began to pepper the landscape as the town prepared for a massive change. In 1910, Prospect Avenue would officially become the world-famous Hollywood Boulevard. This was the final moment of a quiet paradise, just before the cameras started rolling and the world's imagination was captured forever. By 1895, Hollywood welcomed its second major destination, the Glen Holly Hotel. Located at the corner of Ivar and Yucca, this elegant retreat was built by the famous 1890s artist Joachim Berg. Imagine the luxury of the era, 20 guest rooms served by just one shared bathroom. Visitors arrived from downtown Los Angeles in a horse-drawn coach called a tally-ho, seeking a peaceful escape in the hills. Owner Charles M. Pierce later made it a key lunch stop for the iconic Balloon Route Railway. With the addition of billiards and a bowling alley, it became the social heart of the valley. Today, the building is gone, but its legacy as a pioneer of Hollywood hospitality lives on forever. Long before the highways, travel through the Cahuenga Pass was an adventure of endurance. In this rare 1992 view, we see travelers camping and cooking by the roadside, a far cry from the modern commute. In the mid-19th century, ox carts and mule teams were the only way across these hills. By 1858, the Butterfield Overland Mail stagecoaches made their historic first runs right through this dust. And in the 1970s, the 8 Mile House stood here as a vital toll station and store for weary souls. This was life on the edge, a rugged existence, before the Iron Horse changed everything forever. By 1927, the dusty trails of the past were forever gone. Here at Whiteley, looking northwest, we see the Cahuenga Pass transformed into a modern artery of progress. Notice the classic automobiles and the paved road that once required a grueling horse-drawn struggle. In 1925, the city officially renamed it Cahuenga Boulevard, recognizing its new status as a main speed highway. It was no longer just a mountain path, it was the critical link between a booming Hollywood and the San Fernando Valley. From ox carts to speeding engines, the gateway to the legend was now wide open. By 1894, education in the hills reached a new milestone. This is the Cahuenga Pass School, captured just after its completion at the corner of what we now call Sunset and Gordon. Look at this sea of faces, the future of a valley that didn't even know it was about to become the world's movie capital. This wasn't just a simple shack, it was a modern facility for its time, featuring 3 full classrooms to accommodate the growing number of pioneer families. Today, this intersection is a bustling part of the entertainment district, but in 1894, it was just a quiet place for children to learn and dream. A small schoolhouse on the edge of a big revolution. By 1888, at the quiet corner of Cahuenga and Prospect, Hollywood welcomed its very first lodging facility, the Sackett Hotel. Look at this stunning 3-story Victorian marvel featuring its iconic mansard roof and elegant bay windows. Standing here are Horace and Ellen Sackett, the pioneers who turned this dirt road into a vibrant community. This wasn't just a hotel, it was the heart of the valley, home to the first grocery store and Hollywood's original post office. In 1897, their daughter, Mary Sackett, made history right here as the town's very first postmistress. From humble rooms to the birth of a city's soul. As we look across this vast landscape in 1898, we are seeing the 160-acre dream of the Wilcox family. Stretching from Gower all the way to Hudson, this was a quiet world of fruit orchards and dirt paths. Right here in the foreground, where these young trees stand, is the future intersection of Hollywood and Cahuenga Boulevard. Notice the skeleton of a new house taking shape, a sign of a community rooting itself in the dust. And there, peering through the center of the frame, is the iconic Sackett Hotel. This single view captures the calm before the storm of fame, a time when Hollywood was just a name on a ranch fence, long before the world followed the light of the stars. Let's continue our journey. From a lonely adobe hut to the most recognizable boulevard on Earth, we have walked through the dust of 19th century Hollywood, witnessing the birth of a legend. The citrus groves are gone, and the dirt trails have turned to gold, but these rare images remind us where it all began. If you enjoyed this journey through time, please like and subscribe to Old Photo History. Your support helps us uncover more hidden chapters of our shared past. What surprised you most about early Hollywood? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time.